I have not really prepared anything because I wanted to see what it was like. There's a lot of stuff that I have. So one of those, just yesterday, I got an email. I had sent an essay over to New York Times for their Modern Love column, and I got the email back. It was an email of rejection. We'll I'll be very honest from the get-go. It was an email of rejection. They did not accept my essay, but it was very close to my heart. So I thought I just just I'll share the essay with you, at least parts of it. So it's about my Nani. My Nani has dementia. So for several years now, she has been down with this disease, and it began. I don't even remember now when it began, but it's been it will be a decade almost that she has been down with dementia. And um, when it began, we thought she was being forgetful. Like she would, in the middle of a conversation, she would lose track or she would ask me to repeat. And then slowly, when it became, we started clocking that behavior. We started understanding that there is something, more insidious, something worse. And then all of this happened over a not such a long period of time, but yeah, then we came to know, okay, this is what she has, and that this will only get worse with time. And it did, even though the doctor did say it will get worse with time, and I was there personally when he said it. But it did not make it easy knowing that, having that knowledge and then having her not recognize me. That was not easy for me. I would initially, whenever she would just look at me with quizzical eyes, like not realizing, not recognizing who I am, even though we both have the exact same eyes. And then, it was hurtful. It was very hurtful. Even though I should have been mentally prepared, the doctor did say this is how it's going to happen. But I suppose it's different when, when it's someone you love and when you experience it in real life. So my nanny has this habit. All I think all of our family members, at least, of that generation, they are extreme. The hospitality is extreme. I think with our generation, it's like, oh, come in, you want to have some tea, and if they say no, we just, okay, that's the one time I asked you, now we'll just sit and chill and talk. But they keep on insisting. That generation is very sweet like that. And Nani has this habit of, she has, whenever someone comes, whenever there's a guest, she always says, "Please, ahok bohok sak haok," which, this is in Assamese. I will translate. She says, "Please come, sit, have some tea." And yeah, so this she does to absolute strangers, because this is the code of hospitality, right? You offer tea, you have to offer tea. So there was a point of time. Now my nanny can't even speak. She can't speak. But there was a point of time between the moments when she stopped, the months, the years that she started losing recognition, and the but she still has this. She can still ask you to sit and have tea. So she still has that part of her. So when I used to go visit her, whenever, so after college, whenever I used to go home during semester breaks, I used to go visit her, and she'd be like, "Oh, please, please come, have some tea." So this, I know the tone. This is for an absolute stranger, and it used to break my heart, but I used to sit. And she loves black. We all love black tea. We don't like milk in our tea. As an Assamese person, you just know this. Tea is supposed to be had as it is, with the flavor of tea leaves, and the most you can do is add cardamom to it, elaichi, but nothing else. You don't add milk to it, because milk, the that is something else. And if you're a northeastern person, if you are from Assam, you just, tea is meant to be had like that. So that's how she liked her tea as well, and that's how I like my tea. So, and she likes black tea and white bread. So that's what we used to have whenever she used to, like, when she used to think of me as a guest. And she used to say, "Come sit, have some tea." I would sit with her, and then I would excuse myself. I'd go make black tea and white bread, and she would not even understand what has happened in the meantime. And then I'd come back and I would feed it to her. And in those moments, I would recognize her, because in the way she sipped her tea, even then, dipping that white bread, having that tea, that was my grandmother. That was my Nani. So in those small moments, and Miss Priyanka, she mentioned that she had heard this just yesterday or the day before. She had heard this folk tale, Assamese folk tale, Tezi Mala. So my Nani, she used to have this copy of Budhiyar Hadhu, which is translation, old grandma's folk tales, on her bedside, and she used to recite those stories to me, from her memory. They were committed to her memory, which is such a funny thing, because her memory has betrayed her. Now it has completely betrayed her. But she used to be able to say all of that and from her memory. And I remember, sitting on a cot with her on a summer evening, and just under those stars near the lychee tree by the pond. And I would insist on listening to stories from her, and she'd be like, "Kiman khuna aro tumi, kiman bar khuna, same story hoy, eke story hoy," which is translation, how many times are you going to listen to the same story? It's the same story, you've heard it. But I would be like, "No, tell me that again. I want to listen to this, I want to listen to that specific story." And I don't think it was the story so much as the ritual of me placing my head on her lap, and the rhythm of the rise and fall of her voice, and the way her lap moved when she spoke. That's what I wanted more than anything. And now I don't have that. So what I do now when I go back is I tell her my stories. Whenever I want adult approval, which I know she can no longer give, I tell her. But when I am wholeheartedly, completely convinced that what I'm doing is right, but a lot of people in my life will not approve, I tell Nani, "Nani, this has happened. And this is the step I'm going to take." And I'm an extremely decisive person. If I have decided that this is the right thing to do, I will do it, whether or not um, there is approval. So I tell her, and then I keep repeating it over and over and over until she until she says yes. And I know that she may not be saying yes to, she does not know what she's saying yes to, but a part of me believes that she understands. And now I tell her my stories. I tell her. And the funny thing is, I have heard Burhiya Khadhu from her all my life, but still my memory is not sharp enough. I can't recall exactly, I can't recall the exact word, the exact way the story goes. I remember the summary of it. But now I tell her, and I read it out from the book on her bedside that she had kept all those years ago for me. So yeah, that's the essay that got rejected, and that's the story of me and my Nani, uh, whose eyes I have inherited, who does not recognize me anymore.
A very emotional story. I think you were also getting emotional while narrating this story. And you have narrated it so well from the heart. Everything was coming from the heart. And I think everybody who is sitting there, I mean, it was a genuine, very genuine thing that you were sharing with us. It was, I don't, I won't call it a storytelling. It was very, from you are speaking from the heart. Beautifully narrated. Beautifully narrated. I think whosoever they have rejected, I think it is they'll be the losers. Okay, Dr. Tajinder.
Hello, Shabnoor. Welcome to this
Hi,
family. Uh,
thank you.
सर ने जैसे बोला, it was a heart to heart conversation. It was not like कुछ वो चल रहा था, but it was very sweet. और एक बात आपने बोली थी कि जैसे you knew जो भी डॉक्टर ने बोला था, still you were very much कि accept करना उसको मुश्किल था. तो recently we have a staff in our hospital, and her husband is on deathbed right now. He's a case of CA rectal. And she, being a staff, she knows all the medical things regarding that, कि क्या होने वाला है. But still, she is sitting there. एंड वहां पे बैठ के वो हर एक को बुला रहे हैं और बोले देखो अभी हार्ट रेट ठीक चल रहा है, अभी शायद निकल सकते हैं, मतलब शी नोज द एंड कि इट इज जस्ट फ्यू, इट्स अ गेम ऑफ जस्ट 1 or 2 days, है ना. बट स्टिल शी इज सिटिंग देयर. ये होता है अपनों के साथ, यू कैन नॉट एक्सेप्ट दीज थिंग्स फॉर योर ओन. आपको जितना मर्जी आप पढ़ लो, जितना मर्जी आप देख लो, बट व्हेन इट्स टर्न फॉर योर समवन, योर ओन पर्सन ना, it is very hard to accept. So I could see that in you for your Nani. I know it is very hard to see your parents, your grandparents in such an agony. But your telling was very honest, very beautiful. So
Thank
I liked it.
Okay, Dr. Ariana.
It was quite emotional. So uh, I think I don't have words for now. I don't know what to say, but I will escape the emotional part and I'll come to the creativity. Whatever you wrote, it was so pure, and we connected to it. And every word that you said, it was so personal and it was so beautiful. And listening to this entire essay, it was commendable. What you wrote, amazing, amazing, beautiful.
thank
May I go next? Thank you so much. Thank you for that, for sharing that. And this is a personal story or a personal narrative. And the only two things that I teach adults when I'm teaching storytelling is be authentic and stay authentic. And that's precisely why you connected with everyone, because it was an authentic narration of what it is. That is one part. The other part is what you just shared. I'm so grateful because that is the power of stories. When your memory is evaporated, when everything is erased, what stays are stories. So if we have zones, then this is for everyone. There are white zone stories, yellow zone stories, orange zone stories, and then there are red zone stories. Red zone stories are within us that make us or shatter us. And thank you so much for sharing the red zone story.
thank you.
I think Indranil is from Assam, है ना? So let's ask Indranil.
Yeah, so I think to start off, I can't even imagine how it feels for your nanny and for you as well as everyone in the family. So thanks for sharing such a personal story. And yeah, coming to the story bit, I think a lot of things were so relatable to me. Like when you said, Arug bar hunwan, Arug bar hunwan, and it'd be like just hoi gol kiman bar huni bar ek kotha and all that. So for me also it was the same thing. Because I lost my dadi about last year in February. So for me also it was the same thing. Just tell me one more story. I mean, bedtime. So whenever, so I live in Bangalore, and grandparents used to visit here, or we go there during summer vacations. So whenever they're together during the holidays, it is a mandate that there has to be a story at night before sleeping. And yeah, and they would just how many ever lame, silly requests we put in, they will tell the story. So yeah, I think really relatable and very well narrated. So thanks for sharing the story again.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shabnoor. Huge round of applause for Shabnoor, please.
मैं बज के भी मुझे मुझे बोलना पड़ेगा
हाँ
मुझे
हाँ, प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज. बट आज 11 बजेंगे, ये बता रहा हूँ. दो परफॉर्मेंसेज
कोई
और
नहीं.
हैं. इंद्रनील एंड हरियाणा. ओके.
हाँ
यस,
जी.
फॉलो.
So Shabnoor, I'm touched. First of all, thank you for trusting us to share such a personal story with us. And you're very brave. And it shows that how it is sitting with you, that you had to share it with all of us. So thanks for trusting. और आपने जो जो words बोले, मैंने कोशिश करी है उसे उतारने की, और ये कहीं से आता ही है, सो इट्स नॉट मी, इट्स द मूवमेंट विच इज राइट नाउ गेटिंग क्रिएटेड. सो शबनूर की आंखें, शबनूर की आंखों में है नन्नी नानी की कहानी का नूर. शबनूर की आंखों में है नानी की कहानी का नूर. वो मुस्कुराहट में नानी का ये कहना, आओ ना चाय पे आओ. बातों में वो काली चाय, और यूं कह देना, नो मिल्क प्लीज. नानी की मेमोरी, नानी की मेमोरी कहीं नहीं गई. अरे पगली, इसे ही तो कहते हैं लेगेसी. अरे पगली, इसे ही तो कहते हैं लेगेसी. जो वो शबनूर के बचपन में, जो वो शबनूर के बचपन में नानी बो रही थी एक नन्हा पौधा, और जो आज शबनूर की मेमोरी से पास ऑन होता रहेगा अगली अगली जनरेशन को, बन के खूब सारे नन्हे नन्हे पौधे. तो फेडिंग मेमोरी नहीं, ये है कंटिन्यूड लेगेसी. शबनूर की आंखों में नानी का नूर.
क्या बात, क्या बात, आउटस्टैंडिंग.